All right. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our free travel agent expo. Um, Tonight, we're going to give you a brief overview of the travel business, and we're also going to hear stories from some of our travel agents and how this business has helped them. And then we're going to end with a Q&A. We'll let you guys ask your questions and get your questions answered before you leave here this evening. My name is Cindy Bergerman. I'm from Ohio. Just tell you a little bit about me. I started this travel business almost 8 years ago. Okay. It's absolutely changed my life. When I started this business, well, I'm a mom of five, first of all. I'm a mom of five and a grandma, and I'm an EMT. I do EMT just part-time, just because I love it, and that's my way to give back to my community. So I was working in a very stressful office for a trucking company 15 years when I found this business. Okay, when I joined this travel business, I was working and I was going to work with chest pains most days. I know it was such a stressful environment, negative environment. I'd come home crying most days. My husband can vouch for that. Like he was just tired of seeing me so miserable in my job. I loved what I did, but it was just negative. I knew I was made for more. I wanted time freedom. I worked 60 to 70 hours a week. It was just stressful. I needed out. And my doctor even said, you need to give something up. I'm like, it's my full-time job. I need something else, but I couldn't afford to just quit my job because we needed that to help pay the bills. We were living paycheck to paycheck at that time. So my friend posted on Facebook that she was joining this travel business. And I told her, I'm like, you got to tell me more because we love cruising. Like, I wasn't even thinking about replacing my job at that time. I was just like, we love cruising. And she's like, you could get paid to cruise. Like, you could get paid on your own trips. Like, you get paid that commission. It's built in across the board. And I was like, I didn't know that. I'm like, just sign me up. It just makes sense. Like, I'm never cruising again without coming home to the paycheck. So that's what I did. I signed up. Then about 3 weeks later, she's like, you need to go see this presentation. You need to see the information about this, like the whole comp plan of this company. You need to meet some people. So I actually drove 3.5 hours to Cleveland, Ohio, and checked out a presentation, got to meet some people in the company. And that night changed my life. That night literally changed my life forever. That was almost 8 years ago at this point. Yes, it was almost 8 years ago. And I said when I left there, I cannot keep this a secret. Everyone needs to know about this. And by sharing this opportunity with others, I was able to replace my income in 9 months and quit my job and no longer had to go back to that job ever again. And 8 years later, now my husband has recently quit his job, and we have an organization of 9,000 travel agents. We've shared with a few people and they shared with a few people who've shared with a few people. And it ended up being we have over now 9,000 agents in our organization, but we're still helping people get started every single day to get started with this travel industry, this travel business. So I'm truly excited to be here this evening to host this event, and I hope that you will get the answers you're looking for to see if this is right for you. Because we're here to share this opportunity and just give you the facts, give you the information. We're not here to convince you and say you have to do this. That's not what we're here for. We're here to share the facts with you, and then you get to make that decision. It was a good fit for my family, and hopefully it will be a good fit for you because we would love to work with you. So most of you have already seen a presentation, okay, or you heard the information about this travel opportunity. So I'm just going to briefly recap that, and then we will hear some stories from some of the other agents in the business, okay? So we are two companies, all right? We're two companies. One is the host travel agency, okay? We have the host travel agency, and then we have one that is the marketing side of the business. Okay. One's the host travel agency, one is the marketing side. So the travel agency, we get to book travel through them. Okay. We have access to the vendors worldwide. The marketing side of the business, we get to help others become travel agents. We get to sell the agency. Okay. With both opportunities, you can make unlimited income. All right. You get to work from anywhere not just from home. You get to work from anywhere. You get that time freedom. You get to make your own schedule. There's no inventory. I love that because our inventory is right in our computer, right? So it's the World Wide Web is our inventory. We don't have to carry tangible things around to show people. Actually, right in our computer, our phones, our laptops, our um tablets, it's there. So there's no quotas. Nobody tells you you have to sell a certain amount each month. It's your business. You get to do what you want with it. So that's amazing also. I love that. All right. Our host travel agency is IntelliTravel. Okay. We're based out of Delray Beach, Florida. We've been in business for over 30 years and we have booked $4.5 billion just in the last 9 years since our marketing um, business has been connected, partnered together with IntelliTravel. So that's amazing. $4.5 billion. And we have received numerous awards and recognition in the travel industry. And just recently, we've received two Magellan Awards, which is like the Grammy Awards in the travel industry. So that's pretty exciting. Just last month, we received two Magellan Awards. It's not the first time we received them, but we received two again. Commissions are built in every trip across the board in the industry. Okay, if you book as a consumer, if you book a trip as a consumer, someone is still getting paid that commission, whether it's you used a travel agent or if you went directly online, say you went directly through Carnival and booked a cruise, whoever answered that phone and it was the Carnival travel agent is the one who's going to get paid. Okay. So if you book it as a travel agent, you do the same thing and say, I'm the travel agent. You use your travel agent credentials. You get a special number when you register as a travel agent. You're the one who's going to get paid doing the same thing. All right. So you get your own website when you register as a travel agent. Okay. You get your own website. You get your own booking portal. You get access to every major supplier worldwide. Okay, you get customer management software so you can organize your customers right in your back office. All right, all the education is included and sales and marketing materials. Thousands of dollars of sales and marketing materials are included. All right. You have access, but not limited to book group and individual trips. Okay, you can book groups and individual cruises, destination weddings, hotels, honeymoons, anniversary trips, resorts, girls' trips, family trips. We even have travel insurance that you can book and get commission on, but there's so much more that you have access to. Travel's an $8 trillion industry. Okay, it's the largest industry in the world, and it only makes sense to get a piece of it, right? Why would you not want to get a percentage of an $8 trillion industry? That's a lot of zeros. All right. There's three guarantees from our company. This just sets us off from any other business, I think. We have the best travel price guarantee. All right. We have a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you join the business, you register today, you have 30 days to try this out. If you if you register and if you just feel in this first 30 days like this is not what I thought it was going to be, or this isn't the right time for me, you can email the company and say, cancel my account, and they will send you your money back. They're not going to ask any questions. Now, the person who registered or the person that referred you might call you and say, "Hey, what's up?" Like, but the company's not going to ask any questions. If you decide in those first 30 days this is not for you, they will refund your money. Okay? So your initial investment is a no risk investment, which is pretty amazing. And we also have a 12-month profit guarantee. The company says we guarantee that you will make a profit or at least break even your first 12 months in business. All right. Usually when you start a business, it could take 3, 4 years to make a profit. Our company says we're going to give you 12 months to work this business and make a profit. And if you don't, at the end of 12 months, they will write you a check of the difference of what you've invested into your business and what you have profited. Okay, that's pretty amazing. It really is. It just shows the integrity of the company and it just shows like how much um They believe in the company and their product that you're going to make a profit in your first 12 months. All right. So there's no risk to start your travel business. Okay. The marketing side of our business is Planet Marketing, which started 9 years ago. Mr. Donald Bradley is the founder of Planet Marketing, and he was a number one income earner in a company structured just like this for years. And he felt that company was doing things kind of shady, not with integrity, and he was making $95,000 a month. He was a millionaire. And he said, I need to make my own company because I want to be able to give the average person the ability to make above average income and not change the comp plan. Like that company was changing the comp plan, and the people that were getting in, 10 years later didn't have the same opportunity the people that were getting in the beginning. And he's like, I want to give ordinary people the ability to live extraordinary lives. And that's what he's doing. Okay. He's created 5 millionaires already in this company. And every single one of you have the ability to do that if you desire. Okay. But he started this business with 7 streams of income on top of your travel commissions. Okay. You get paid when you refer someone to the business. When they refer someone to the business, you get paid again, a 50% check match, actually, every single week. You get bonuses after you refer 9 people to the business. You're going to receive bonuses as you help them get started. And you also get paid $4 per person per month for every person in your organization, no matter who brings them in. That was what was a game changer in my mind that night I went to that meeting. I seen that and I was like, $4 per person every single month. That's like Michael Jackson money, right? He wrote songs, sang some songs since he was little. And here, years and years later, he's still getting paid. He's one of the highest paid entertainers every year. And his family gets to, his legacy lives on. His family still gets paid from that work. So the very first person that I brought into the business 8 years ago, I still get paid $4 every month. $4 every month times 12 times 8 years, it adds up. And then you look and there's an organization now of 9,000 people. That's life-changing money. Okay. And I was thinking to myself, a thousand people, $4, that's $4,000. I don't have to go back to work. Like that can replace my income. That's what I was thinking when I seen that. I'm like, I get paid that every month. I have time freedom. I don't have to, I can work from home. But it just developed into so much more. And I said, no, everyone needs to know about this. So I'm like, I can't keep this a secret. So we're just getting started. We're going to be launching in like 8 countries, eight more countries. We're already in 20 countries, but we're going to be launching in Germany. We're going to be launching in Canada. And once we get launched into Germany, we're going to be in the next 24 months opening into 8 European countries. That's huge. That is huge. And that's a huge opportunity for anyone. You are just getting in on the ground floor with momentum going on. It is the best time. Don't think, well, she got in 8 years ago and that has a team of 9,000. No, everybody has that same opportunity because we're just getting started. You've not missed it. We've been through a lot with the pandemic, not knowing what travel was going to go through. So this actually is the best time to get into the business. Okay. So there's also another way you get paid. You get bonuses once you become a director in the company, and a director is a team of 100. Okay. Your business as a directorship level can be willed to your family. Okay. When you pass away, your family can take over your business and still receive your monthly paychecks, your weekly paychecks, which is amazing. You get to leave a legacy for your family. All right. So the recap of getting started, it's a $199.90 to maximize both opportunities. Okay. One-time startup fee. All right. You get to sell travel and sell travel agencies, refer others to the business. And then it's $59.90 a month for continued support, website, VIP travel benefits, your marketing materials, your education, and so much more. Okay. $199.90 for one-time registration fee, and then $59.90 a month to keep your business going. So we're not in the convincing business, like I said. It's truly a decision that can only be made by you. All right. There's no risk. You just need to get back with the person who invited you here tonight and give them your opinion on this. Let them know, hey, I'm ready to get started. If you have a few questions, let them answer your questions. All right. Or we'll get your questions answered at the end tonight. We're going to open this up for a Q&A. So we'll be happy to answer your questions. But first, we're going to go ahead and hear from some of our travel agents that we work with. All right. So first up, I'm going to bring Ashley up. Ashley is from Ohio also. She's a wife and a stay-at-home mom to two girls. She's a director in training with Planet Marketing, which means she's helped over 50 people get started on her way to director. She's a Pinnacle agent, which means she is in one of the top levels of the travel agents in IntelliTravel. She loves to travel. I know she's getting ready and counting down to go on her next cruise. But she is on a mission to show her girls more of this world. So we are excited to hear from Ashley Mullenkamp tonight. Ashley, you on here with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I'll let you take it
Okay.
over.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Cindy. But like Cindy mentioned, my name is Ashley Mullenkamp. I live in Ohio. I've been in this business for almost 2 years. I joined the week of Christmas. So nothing like starting a new business during the holidays. But like Cindy mentioned, I'm a director in training with Planet Marketing, meaning I've helped over 50 other families start their own travel business. And like she mentioned, I'm also a Pinnacle agent with IntelliTravel. I am married to my husband, Ryan, and we have our two girls. They're 10 and 6 years old. I actually am a nurse by background. And when we had our oldest, like I said, she's 10. When we had our oldest, I started to stay home with her. I was actually a supervisor of nursing at the time, but management wasn't, they didn't have the same values that I did. And I just needed to get out of that environment. So I stayed home. I opened a daycare out of our house and I ran a daycare for about 2 years. And then I stayed home with her full time. Back in 2022, our youngest was going to be starting kindergarten the following school year. And I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do that can bring in some extra income, but not go back to nursing? So I was, trying to think of ideas and think of things. And I wanted to maintain that flexibility of being a stay-at-home mom. Our girls were sick a lot. My husband's actually in the medical field as well. So we both just could not be working in the medical field and we just call off sick whenever we wanted because our kids were sick. And where we live, we don't have a lot of family support close by. So a lot of it fell on me. So I love to travel. I love to research travel. And my husband always said, you should just be a travel agent. You are constantly looking for new places to go, things to do. When we would go on all-inclusive trips, I would actually research my own trip. I would call our trusty travel agent. I would tell her the exact dates we wanted to go, the resort, the room category, the flights, including the flight numbers. She had it all. She could book my trip within 10, 15 minutes. And now I know she was getting between $400 and $900 off of all of my work every time I picked up the phone and called her. So once I realized that, I was like, okay, I need to start taking this money back for myself. And it'll be a way for me to earn some money so I can continue to stay home and have that flexibility of being my own boss and working when I want. So I actually watched Miss Cindy do this business for 6 years before I decided to join. And I will say that is my biggest regret still to this day. And I know I've told Cindy this, that I watched for way too long. And I wish I just would have ignored all the excuses I gave myself in my head just to jump in and do it. Because now looking back, I know that I could have done a little bit here, a little bit there. The flexibility of the business is great. So you can just work in those pockets of time, do what you can when you can. So that's my biggest takeaway is the flexibility is phenomenal and it allows you to truly work your business when you can. As far as booking travel, currently I don't have a niche per se, but I do prefer to book all inclusives, cruises, and honeymoons. Those are my favorite. In the beginning, tell people just to book anything and everything, even if it's your neighbor wants to go to the Holiday Inn for a weekend, book it, because you're just starting your business and they could turn into a repeat client for something bigger. They could give you a referral out to their neighbor or to their coworker or their friend. So in the beginning, just book it all, and I promise the business will come back if you treat them right. Within the last 21 months, I guess it's been since I've actually been booking travel, I've booked almost $300,000 in travel. I love sending my clients off on these amazing trips, but what I love even more is helping others in my travel business and guiding them and achieving their own personal goals with their own businesses. So I really do like that part of the business just as much, if not more. In closing, I guess I would say, just if you're thinking about joining, just rip the Band-Aid off and do it and jump in. I wish I would have jumped in a lot sooner, and we will help guide you on how to find those pockets of time, what you can do in little pieces of time to get you to where you need to be successful. Again, the business is so flexible. It can work around anybody's schedule and work around whatever you have going on in life. It really just takes a little bit of dedication and pockets of time and planning out your day.
Thank you, Ashley. And I always
Welcome.
tell Ashley, like, she's such a natural at this. And I do want to give her a shout out because just this last payday, we get paid on the 15th of every month. Ashley just got her highest one-time paycheck through IntelliTravel for her bookings. So
Yeah, and
congratulations.
I will say, my paycheck this week that Cindy's referring to, it equaled me working full-time 5 weeks as a nursing supervisor. And that was only off of 5 of my trips that I had booked for clients.
That's amazing.
So 5 trips equaled 5 weeks of nursing pay. It was pretty nice.
Congratulations on that. And thank you for sharing with us tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so next up, we're going to bring up Georgina, and Georgina is coming to us from the UK. We got to shout her out for being on here tonight. She's 5 hours ahead of us, guys. So it's early in the morning, but she loves to stay up and be with us on these Zooms. She's a wife. She's a mom of 3. She's a UK ambassador, which means she has the highest level of education in the IntelliTravel business, which gives her the certification to help agents to build successful businesses. She has the certification to be able to train others in the business. She works the business part-time around a job that she has in her child's school, and while sharing the opportunity with others and building a team of travel agents also. So Georgina Smith, we would love to hear from you tonight.
Thank you, Cindy. Yes, it's 1:30 here, folks, in the morning, but I'm always up. So I thought, do you know what? Why not? I'll come and see you folks and just share a little bit about me. I don't mind putting it out there. I'm like, make sure I put my alarm on just in case I fall asleep, but I didn't. So anyway, yes, as Cindy mentioned, my name is Georgina. I'm a mum of 3, wife, long-suffering husband, bless him. But it was actually him that pushed me into doing this. So this journey really started 6 years ago. I've just been with the business just over 6 years, and my husband said to me, well, we're going back really. I had a traditional business with my mum 12 years ago this month that she passed away, and it just didn't feel right to go back into a business without her. It just wasn't going to be. So I went on, did a little bit of study, had my children, and Emily was just about to start school, and she's the youngest, and she just turned 3, and And I just thought, "Do you know what? I need something to do when she goes back to school." So of course my husband said, "Why don't you be a travel agent?" We just moved home, and here in the UK, for me to get started with no experience, it's going to cost me about £14,000, which these days is about the same in dollars. So you can imagine it's a rather big chunk if you have not got the funds to do that. And I turned around and went, "No, just can't do it, can't afford it. We've just moved house. It's not going to happen." I found an advert on Facebook, "Be a travel agent from home." And I was like, "Ooh, intrigued." And I was like, "Yes, this is me. Let's have a look." And I inquired, and obviously, the rest is history. I asked lots of questions. So make sure you put your questions in the chat box. Seriously, I asked lots of questions. And 6 weeks later, I jumped in. I sold everything in the house to get my money together, but I did it. And do you know what? My husband went, "Just go and do it. It's something that you want to do." And all I said I wanted to do was not rely on his wage to have to take us away, because we used to travel a lot. We used to go for weekends away. And I always said I wanted to be the one that paid for us to go on holiday. And I did that. Just 12 months later, I took us to Disneyland Paris, but I paid every single penny myself. And it was a really big deal for me. Um, and then I was trying to sell to others, and it was like, "Oh, goodness gracious, so what am I going to do?" And there's always that one person who's very skeptical when you start something, and it's usually a friend. So don't be put off when we always say that friends are the worst to sell to, because they really can be. And a friend of mine trusted me to just book a one night stay with her. So I did. I booked it for her. She went to London for the weekend, had a lovely time, and then she had a longer weekend away. And then she trusted me to book her honeymoon for her. Except the 11 days that I booked for her turned into 3 weeks, because they actually cancelled the 11-day holiday but gave her a 3-week holiday for the same price. So I kind of won her over on that one. Then she went for 2 weeks to Tenerife, 2 weeks to Greece. She's been on the Rocky Mountaineer in Canada. She's doing New Zealand next year for 3 weeks. She's already looking for a round the world trip. So if you think you have nobody to sell to, like Ashley said, take everything you can, because that one trip could turn into a life-changing experience. So I was never, like Ashley mentioned, I haven't really got a niche. I'd always said, "I'll take whatever comes along." And this experience got me to build confidence. Would you believe it that I would not speak on a Zoom, particularly because we've got nearly 420 of you on. At one point we had 430 of you, and I was a bit panicky that there was this much. And I'm thinking, I only ever used to speak when people was about 15 on the Zoom, and I was panicking then. So I mean, to have 417 of you on currently is a big thing for me, but it gave me the confidence to become an ambassador. So I trained to have the highest level of education, which meant that I could train lovely agents to have a successful business and show them how to build and earn a lot of income. And that's just what I do in the UK. And you've got some wonderful ambassadors that I know in Cindy's team that are over in the USA, which we have wonderfully. I'm sure some of them are on now, but I can't see the names because there's so many of us on. But it's just give us the confidence to, give me the confidence to come and speak to you all tonight, because I certainly wouldn't have this. But honestly, like Ashley said, if there's one thing from this business, it's great, because you can connect with people all over the world. I certainly wouldn't have had the friends in the US that I can see on this Zoom tonight smiling back at me. You'll know who you are, but I can see you all on Zoom. But it's great that we can connect across Zoom and see each other on this. So yeah, we're all across the world, so don't ever think you're alone. If you can't find out something from them, reach out to one of us in the UK. We're here to help all the time. So anyway, I will pass back to you, Cindy. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
Great. Thank you, Georgina. It is so just refreshing to hear from you. And thank you for being on this late with us tonight. Everybody loves seeing your face and hearing your accent. We're all probably like, we can listen to her all day. All right, so next up, and then we're going to give you guys an opportunity. If you have questions specifically for this panel, these speakers, you will be able to ask questions at the end, but we also will open it up for all around questions. So next up is Heaven. She is from Michigan, and she's retired from corporate America and now works for a nonprofit taking care of retired military and police canines. And along with building a business in her dream career of travel, she's a director in training and fastly approaching one-star director with almost a team of 100 very, very soon. Let's hear from Heaven Reinert.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Like Cindy said, I'm Heaven Reiner. Thank you, Cindy, so much for introducing me. Like she said, I am from Michigan, and you guys, I think when I was a little girl, I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have kids. I used to play travel. Literally, I clocked into jobs. I used like an old radio, and I would use the little tape deck thing, and I would clock in right there. And then I would take vacations, and I wanted to go everywhere. And I literally studied the map. I studied the world. I used to think that when the ocean and the water washed up, that it just dried up and turned to sand. So this is what I wanted to do my whole life. I grew, when I graduated from high school, my dad was like, okay, now what? And I was like, I think I'm going to be a travel agent. And he was like, no, internet's coming out. They're going to go away. And I'm like, and I lived in a family with a father and a World War II grandfather that meant whatever they said you did. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll be a flight attendant. And then 9/11 happened, and my dad's like, absolutely not. And he got me a job with one of his friends who owned a marketing company. So I went into automotive, like the three or four previous generations of my family. So I happened to be booking a vacation for 40 people. And one of the guys that was going on the trip, he said, do you mind if I invite one of my friends from high school? And I said, sure, I don't care. The more the merrier. And it ended up being a travel agent. And she's like, are you a travel agent? I was like, no, nobody uses those anymore. And she's like, oh, I beg to differ. So it took her 8 months. And you guys, it took her 8 months because I was like, I'm not watching your stupid video. I'm not joining your meetings. Just tell me all the details right now and make it quick. And because I've always had side hustles, so I always had 2 or 3 jobs. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. And so then she called me one day and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just getting ready, tying up some loose ends for a trip we're taking for my 40th birthday. She's like, what? Where are you going? And I told her. She's like, what resort? Are you flying Delta? Because I live in Michigan. I said, yeah. How many people are going? And I said, like 20. An hour later, she's like, this is how much commission you would make. It was a Wednesday. I I was like, when is your stupid meeting? So I joined the meeting. Cindy was presenting. Everybody was muted like we are today. I unmuted myself. I did not ask. I asked 1,000 questions. After the meeting was over, she texted me and she goes, Cindy just messaged me. She said you asked a lot of questions. I think 2 weeks. I joined that night or the next morning. And because money is my love language. And Cindy, I think, drove to Michigan a couple hours. So it wasn't even like, we're not even on the border. I think she drove 3 hours to come see me. We went to lunch. And now my 3-year anniversary is next month. And I will tell you, I joined, I got COVID. I went to Mexico for my 40th birthday. I came home. It was Christmas, then it was New Year. And then I think it was like February and it was cold. So then I was hibernating. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm paying for this stuff and I'm not doing anything. And I had already launched my business. Like the day I signed up, I launched my business. I had like 300 comments. So and then Stephanie was calling me. It was like, oh my God, you're going to be amazing at this. And then I did nothing for like, I want to say 4 or 5 months. And then I booked my first trip. And then I did nothing for a little while. And then I realized again, I wasn't being consistent. So I started being consistent and I started reaching out to every single person I knew and said, if you're going to book a trip, let me know. Because I hated my job. I love automotive. I love Detroit, but I hated my job. I was so stressed every day. Cindy tells a story about driving home and crying or going to work and crying. That's how I felt every day. My boss would be like, why are you crying? I'm like, I don't know. Don't ask me. Because every meeting, I just was in tears. I hated what I did. So I after that, I was like, after meeting with Stephanie and City a bunch of times, I just was like, oh my God, what am I doing? There's so much money out there. There's so many people out there, and I'm good at what I do. This year I will make over $20,000 in my business, and I will probably double that, if not triple that next year based on the book of business I built. Just like being a real estate agent or being a hairstylist or in any sales business, you build a book of business, people trust you and they keep coming back. And actually, I think it was Ashley was talking. That's exactly how I used to book my trips. I know everything, and I have clients that do the same, and I make amazing commission and have amazing memories and amazing experiences with my clients. And I take them places they never thought they would go because they had no idea that my services were free. They had no idea they could do payment plans. And I make it easy to work with them, and they like people buy from people they like. So my only regret is I didn't start sooner, even though I dragged my feet for like a year. I still I came to all the meetings, I did all this stuff. But once I got consistent, my business has blown up. And now, I won't bore you with a bunch of information, but somebody said their parent passed away, Georgina. It'll be 13 years that my dad passed away. I have 3 siblings and a niece, and most of my family has passed away, so it's just us. And you guys, I could start crying right now because I am like 15 people away from being able to will my business to my family, and that is everything. So, I would say start now, start faster. Don't look back. Well, this is I've worked in corporate America, some of the largest advertising agencies in the world. And this is the most supportive team I've ever worked in. So thank you. And I can't wait to work with all of you.
I love that. Congratulations, Evan. Thank you for sharing. And
Thank you.
you're gonna have directorship very quick. I'm so excited. This is your week. This is your week. All right. So next up, we are going to bring up Janie. She is a mom of 4, of a 4 and 2-year-old. Sorry, she's a mom of 2 of them. Cute little ones. She's a nurse and a boutique owner who craves time freedom. She's approaching 2-star director, which means she has helped almost 300 people get started with this travel business. Okay. She absolutely loves this business and is passionate about helping others reach their goals. So we cannot wait to hear from Janie Poole.
Hello, thank you,
Hey,
Cindy.
Janie.
So my name's Janie. So I am a nurse, but ever since COVID, being a nurse through COVID was really hard. Um, I worked so many shifts. This was before I had children, and I kind of got burned out. We saw a lot during COVID, and kind of healthcare changed. Um, so when I had kids, I switched to being a PRN nurse and still worked a lot, but I, wanted to set my own schedule. So about almost 2 years ago, I got introduced to this business. I didn't even realize this was a thing. Like, I didn't know travel agents were a thing. I had never used a travel agent. I love to travel. And when I found out that I probably missed out on thousands and thousands of dollars of commission, even just on my own trips and helping my friends, book their trips too before I became an agent. It's just so crazy the money that I missed out on. I said, sign me up. I did join both businesses. I became a Planet Marketing rep and a travel agent with IntelliTravel. And my goal was to just come in and book travel. If people wanted to learn about the business, of course, I shared it with them. And that was not my goal at first, but it quickly switched because people naturally they wanted to know what I was doing, how I was earning all this extra money on the side of my nursing job, being a mom, being very busy, owning my boutique. And it just grew and grew and grew. And I see a lot of people asking in the chat, how do you find customers? How do you find business partners? The amount of training our team has, I had never done any kind of network marketing before. I'm not salesy at all. I don't like all that. I don't want to pressure people into anything.
the training that we have is amazing. You can do vendor events. Social media is mainly how I have grown my business. A lot of people do like in-home travel parties to grow their business. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can grow. But yeah, ever since I had kids, I crave that time freedom even more. And I am like so close to being able to step away from nursing. I don't know if I'll ever like step away completely, but only work maybe 1 to 2 shifts a week now. And I've slowly, and worked less and less since starting this business, thanks to the income that it's brought in. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Cindy. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Janie, for sharing with us tonight. Next up, we're going to bring up Julie. Okay, Julie is first and foremost a woman of faith, a wife, a mom of four. She has a blended family, two are hers, two are his. She's also a breast cancer survivor, and she loves pursuing dreams while helping others do the same. And she just achieved 2020 Club in our company, which means that she's personally referred 20 others to the business. And she did that in less than 4 months of starting this business. And she's pushing right on to her next goal. So we would love to hear from Julie McClelland.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Hi, Julie. We can hear you.
Thank you. Well, I'm just excited to be part of this because this is just an opportunity like no other. That's all I can really say. You see lots of things like this, but this is an opportunity like no other. Just a little more background. You heard about my family and things like that. I actually have a degree from way back when in criminal justice, and I did do some jobs in that field, so to speak, different various ones. But I've had a big variety of jobs, and I've done a big variety of network marketing ventures, all of which I had some success in and achieved lots of great things. But for us and our lifestyle personally, none of those were truly sustainable. None of them were really something that we could see ourselves lasting long term, retiring, if you will, doing that kind of venture. So that didn't work out for various reasons. And my husband is an insurance agent. That's our kind of bread and butter, if you will. And he's also worked a variety of different things. So we're both just wired entrepreneurially. We have degrees, we've worked jobs, we've had careers, but we've always had the entrepreneurial spirit. And so that's what was really intriguing to us. And we've also both always had this longing for adventure and this wanderlust, the spirit of wanderlust and wanting to do so much, but we could never really afford to do the travel that we wanted to do. And so we started a network marketing business, probably, I've lost track now, a little bit less than 2 years ago, around 2 years ago. And through that, somebody we knew in that business posted that they started doing this business. And so I reached out to her and was like, what's that all about? Tell me about it. So she sent me a video. We watched the video and we literally were like, this is it. This is what we need to do. The only delay was that money was so tight, we had to wait for his next commission check. So as soon as that money hit, we're like, okay, this is getting pushed off. That's not getting paid this month. We're going with this. We're going to do this. This is our answer to prayer. And so we jumped in with both feet. We just took off. And in the 2 years that we've done that digital marketing business, which the initial investment was about $7,000. And in about the 2 years of doing that, we may have made back that investment, but not more. In starting this business for $200, within the first 4 months, I've made back 7 times that initial investment. And that's just, so many people who are talking about how I can't afford it. It's just, we can't do that right now. I assure you, you can't afford not to do it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. You're going to continue the cycle of insanity. So we just literally jumped in with both feet. And what we've decided to do is my husband and I kind of tag team it. And because I'm wired very differently than he is, I really ran with the marketing side, the business building side, the recruiting and helping others do what we do and bringing them on. And he's focusing and learning the booking, the travel side. Obviously, I'm the technical agent, but we're doing it together, but he gets to focus on that while I kind of listen in, but I'm putting a lot of my effort into recruiting. But that being said, we've already booked an Alaskan cruise for an old high school friend I hadn't talked to in eons. And they're going to take that cruise in July. And then some friends of ours are booking a Jamaican anniversary trip in the summer. So we are booking the travel as well as doing the recruiting. And we want to focus more on group cruises. We want to learn that and jump into that and really work on doing the group cruises, because it seems like, come on, I mean, work smarter, not harder, personally. So all I'll say to finish out is, we personally believe where there's a will, there's a way. If you want something bad enough and you're willing to work for it and not dabble, you're willing to really work for it and go after it, the sky truly is the limit. And the beautiful part of this opportunity is specifically the fact that you can literally do as little or as much as you want with it. You can do it on your schedule at the pace that you want to do. You can focus on whatever aspect intrigues you the most, so you don't feel like you're working. You literally enjoy every minute of it because you're choosing what to focus on. And that's a beautiful thing about that. And you don't have any pressure from anybody to do anything specific in any specific time frame or meet any kind of quotas. There's no pressure, but the amount of support and guidance and encouragement is phenomenal. It's like no other experience that we've ever had. So for us, it was a no-brainer. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you so much for sharing, Julie. I love your story, and I love that you and your husband get to work this business together. I see a lot of couples who do that. One focus on like the booking travel, the other focuses on the marketing. You use your strong points working together, and it's awesome. I love it. My husband and I are now just starting to work this business together because he had resigned from his job back in July. So we're transitioning into that right now too. So it's kind of fun. So thank you for sharing that. Sarah is our next up. She is a wife and a mother. She's a Glammy. She's a member of the 2020 Club also, who she's helped over 20 people, and she's a Pinnacle agent, which means she's one of our top selling agents in the company. She was able to leave her 25-year career in the medical field for her travel business, and she loves this team and the personal growth and friendships that she's made. So let's hear from Sarah Whitman.
Thank you, Cindy.
Sarah.
I'm also from Ohio, very rural, small town with 2 stoplights and 1,500 people. So the fact that I can sell enough travel to be a top agent, that should prove to you a little something, that you don't have to be from a city or from a large area or highly populated area. I did work at a hospital for 25 years, 10 months after I started this business. So February 2023, I was able to walk into that hospital for the last time. I had already been making more on my travel commission. And actually, when I started this, I didn't sign up as a rep when I first started. I only did this for the travel. I only wanted to book travel. And within the first 2 or 3 weeks, I had people coming to me. What are you doing? I want to join you. And I thought, oh, I better learn about the other thing. So I should have done it just from the beginning. And I love the Planet Marketing side because that really brings out a lot of the personal development. You'll hear it said often that this is a personal development company and you can book travel on the side. That was not something that I had ever done before. And I love the growth that I have gotten from this community of agents and now friends, and the fact that I have friends from these agents all over the country. My daughter goes to college nearly 1,000 miles away. And when I move her into college, I can stop and visit one of our teammates that I have met through this business. And if there is an emergency, I have somebody in Oklahoma that I didn't know before this business that will be there, for me and for my daughter if needed. So I love the community that we have here. and that everybody wants you to succeed, and we are there to help other people succeed. I have a new agent. She's doing fabulous. Her first 4 months, she's booked over 140,000 in commission. She just got her first check, and messaged me so excited, and I was so excited for her. My husband's like, I think you're more excited for her first check than your first check, but it is, and that was something I wasn't sure how I would feel with the rep side. But it is so exciting, like helping someone. And I wasn't sure if that was for me, but I love it. Now I want to help more people. And my husband works for the railroad, so he drives trains across the country. He has no schedule, and the flexibility of this has been amazing for my family. And I guess that's really it. It's just great. I think everybody should join. Like, if you don't join, I just think you're crazy, because I love it. I absolutely love it. But so yeah, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Sarah. It
Oh,
just makes
and
sense.
also I'm the one that's putting your names on this wheel. So I'm a little scattered, extra scattered. I'm normally scattered, but I'm
There's
up
a
to
lot of names.
145. So I'm going to go back through this list right now and
Okay.
make sure I didn't miss anybody. So good luck to everybody.
Thank you for doing that too, Sarah. So if you have not yet put your name and who invited you, if you're a guest on here tonight only, we don't want to hear anybody else in the chat. If you're a guest on here only, put your name and who invited you if you haven't done it yet, because you will go on the wheel for a spin, and we're going to give away some luggage tonight. First, we're going to do a Q&A. If you have any questions, you feel free to unmute yourself. If you have one specific toward one of the speakers, you can ask them directly. Or if you just have a specific question about the travel business, we would love to get those answered for you tonight. So, any questions that you may have, we will take those now.
Unmute yourself and ask all the questions.
If you want to put your question in the chat, I know a lot of you have already been putting questions in the chat, and they've been getting
I have a
answered.
question.
Melissa, did you have a question?
Yes, when are like meetings offered? Daily, weekly, over specific criteria
That's
or
great.
issues an agent may have?
Okay, so a lot of the education that you're going to take is online at your own pace. Okay, so you get to do those at your own pace, but there are meetings. We do weekly meetings with our organization, with our team, Wednesdays, and then we do also the company, the different vendors. In teletravel, we'll have the different vendors come on a couple times a week and do trainings also, so that you can join in, and you can always catch the replays of those if you can't watch them live. So you'll always have access to those in our library of videos too, through your IntelliTravel back office.
Okay, and also I know that some companies offer a familiarization trips.
Yeah.
Is that something that your company offers as well, to get more familiarized with what you are actually selling, so you can talk to your client more about it?
Yes. And they call them fam trips, and a lot of different vendor suppliers will do those. They will offer those. And sometimes they will offer, special, they call them IntelliTrips, which are specific for IntelliTravel agents. But yes, different vendor suppliers. And as you work with them, you do some of their education. They may offer you the trips if you book some, resorts through a certain specific resort. They are using a specific vendor. I know like Vacation Express and different ones like that will offer familiarization trips, so you can come learn about their product. And different cruise lines also do the same thing.
I just have some questions, because I actually went through one of these with a different marketing a
Okay.
travel agent last night, and
Okay.
listened to theirs, and so I'm just trying to
Okay.
compare the two
Absolutely.
here.
Yes, that's great.
Also, like, how is your commission paid out?
Our commission is paid out through I'm trying to think, not Paylution,
Hyper Wallet.
Hyperwallet, thank you. Oh my gosh. We have two different ones for each company. So Hyperwallet is IntelliTravel. IntelliTravel pays 70% starting out, and then you bump up to 80% once you earn $5,000 in commission. And a lot of our vendors, and there are people who compare to other travel agencies. So I do have to say this, a lot of our vendors or suppliers will pay us a higher percentage because we have such high volume. So,
Well,
you know,
that's the
like,
right one.
hang on a second. Okay. Um, so I know like Carnival, I think we're up to like either 16 or 18% that we get paid. And then they pay IntelliTravel. All the vendors will pay IntelliTravel, and then IntelliTravel pays you twice a month.
Okay.
I'm not gonna break it. I have a question whenever the next, I didn't want to interrupt anybody. Did I interrupt somebody? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Carrie, and then we can get back to Melissa. She has more.
I'm so sorry. I was sidetracked for a second. It was just really quick. What was the number of people that you had to recruit in order to have your monthly things willed to your family?
It's personally having a team of 100. It's
100.
not
Okay.
that's not personally how many you have to bring in. It's a team total of 100.
Okay, that's all I needed. I'm so sorry for interrupting, love.
No.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I think when I hit 100, when I hit director, I personally had brought in like 18 at that time, and we had an organization of 100.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Hi, Robert.
How you doing?
Good.
Going with the how you get educated on being a travel agent and the rest of the programs, is the continuing education have any additional costs?
All included. IntelliTravel has a university that you will take, in the beginning, and then um, you can get registered with the different suppliers, vendors, and you get to pick and choose what education you want to focus on. If you want to learn about certain resorts or cruise lines, you want to get, educated in Europe or maybe some islands, Puerto Rico, Aruba. You can even go specific destinations, get, certified in Hawaii. So it's your business. It's not a cookie cutter business. We say, okay, this is the education. You do this, 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 because people want to learn different things. But the IntelliTravel University is basic, and you will go through that first, and then you get to choose the education on your own.
Yeah, and can you proceed at your own pace, or is there a specific program pace that's expected, or?
You can proceed at your own pace. The IntelliTravel University, we usually try to get you to do that, at least in your first, couple weeks. That way, because it gives you the compliance, it teaches you how to be a professional travel agent and walks you through getting registered with the different vendors and things like that. That's basically your startup.
Okay.
But all the other things, like if someone like I know this happened to me when I first started. I had someone come to me wanting me to book a Disney trip. And I was like, I've not taken the education yet, but I had somebody that I worked with that was very, familiar with Disney. And she walked me through doing that, quote for that client because I just simply asked her, like, hey, can you help me? I haven't done the education yet. So you don't actually have to have the education to be able to book the trip.
Yeah, 'cause,
So what,
we were brought into this by our friend Joji, who's in the group also, and she knew that we travel extensively on cruises, and so we just retired also, my wife and I. So we're looking into something for additional income, and we were told that as people that actively cruise 3 or more times a year, this would probably pay for itself just on that. So
yeah.
it's an interesting program.
Yeah, and honestly, that's why I joined the business was because I'm like, I'm never cruising again without coming home with a paycheck. It just made sense because the cruise, I was actually on a cruise when I found out about this, and um, my travel agent probably got paid at least $400 to $600 for going on that cruise. I'm like, that could have paid like my fees for the whole year. Like it's yeah, just a couple trips could pay your fees for the year.
So speaking
Thank you.
of fees, like we have a group of like 30 people that go on a trip every 2 years. What would the commissions on that be?
Oh, it depends on what you're booking. I mean,
What
I've
would
done a
it's
cruise.
usually like a week cruise.
A week cruise. I did a 5 day cruise. It depends on like the cost. You can figure about if it's a cruise, you can figure probably about you're gonna bring home 13 to 15% of whatever the price of the cruise
Okay.
is what you can figure out what you're gonna bring home. But, like I booked a cruise for 5 days, just Carnival Magic, and it was 20 people, and my commission was $2,080 when I came home.
Okay.
One more question on the cruises. I typically get one or two comped each year from the casino. Still have to book them. There's still the taxes and port fees and all that stuff. Is there still a commission on something like that on
Yeah,
our supposedly free cruises?
yeah. Well, I get mine comped also because we play in the casino. And it will be like so and Carnival gives us $100 cruise and then we get $100 onboard credit. So it's basically a free cruise, but we get commission on that $100 that we pay.
Yeah,
So
Princess has a $200 fee, but then you end up getting that on
yeah,
onboard credits.
yeah,
So
yeah. So you will get paid on what you don't get paid on like the taxes and fees, but you will get paid if you do have a little bit of a like the $100 to $200. Yeah.
Cindy, I have a question. My name is Wayne
Yes. Hi.
Garcia.
Hi, Wayne.
Hi. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm a retired Army chaplain, 25 years military, and I
Oh,
love
thank
being
you.
retired. I love not having stress on the job like some of you had mentioned on your former jobs. So it sounds like you're all having fun, but I'm sure there's some stressors in doing this. So can you share what the stressors might be? Is it you ever have cantankerous customers or unhappy customers? Are they trying to bug you when you don't want to be dealing with the stuff? Or how does all this work?
It is customer service. But yeah, I've had, and usually all around customers, people who are traveling understand the travel industry in a whole, and a lot of times, no, it's not your fault when something goes wrong. Um, but I try to. I've had a honeymoon couple. I book a lot of honeymoons. At one point, I had a honeymoon couple get to their resort, and they're like, they messaged me and said, "Aren't we supposed to have an oceanfront room?" They didn't give us an oceanfront room. I was like, "Go put your bags in your room. Go enjoy the beach. Go get something to eat. I'll take care of it." So I got them, switched around. By the time they came back, they were, getting switched. So we do take care of things like that if something does go wrong. Basically, if they miss a flight or something like that, the best thing to do, even my own personal experience, the best thing to do is go to the ticket counter and get your ticket switched. They may call you, like, there's not usually a lot of flights in the middle of the night. But they may call you and say, "What do I do?" And then you just, guide them through, getting whatever they need to get switched. I don't know, are there any other agents on here that want to um share anything that you feel
I
A
just
would
negative
be a
experience, a
negative
challenging
with the
experience?
No,
what's that?
do you know what? No, something obviously in the UK, it goes wrong just as it does anywhere. But the good thing about it, it doesn't matter whether it's day or night. We have customer service open 24/7 that we can talk to somebody and get hold of. So if there's an issue, there's always somebody there. You're not on your own trying to figure this out. because I've just had a lady that's come back from Florida, and obviously she was in the hurricane and I couldn't do anything for her. But, you know, I was able to get in touch with our partner supplier who sent the receptionist to check on her, to check she was okay. So there's always somebody there. You're never on your own trying to figure out, oh my goodness, I'm thousands of miles away in the UK. What am I going to do? She's stuck in Florida in a hurricane. You know, there's always somebody there that I can contact. So obviously that's my story really. That's, you know, that's just one that's gone wrong now. But you know, there's, like Cindy says, there's always something like, oh, they haven't got the room that they had done, but you know, it's been sorted by the time they've got back, so they're none the wiser really. Which is great.
So you bring up a good point. You know, you don't want unhappy customers because you want repeat business, and you don't want you know, negative referrals and reviews and things like that. So if a customer does have an issue and they cannot get a hold of you, then what do they do?
I was just gonna say, from a customer service standpoint, I do my very best to make sure that, you know, they have every phone number that they need. And if they're traveling overseas, they've got the US Embassy, and I put that stuff in, they have it in email, and then I make sure I print it out for them. I tell them to put that printout in their luggage, in their travel partner's luggage as well, in case anything happens. But I also, I mean, if I'm going to be completely out of pocket, like I go to Northern Michigan quite a bit, and wildly enough, somehow cell phones don't work in some places up there. I will make sure that they are connected in a chat with one of my closest agents on my team, in the effort that they couldn't get a hold of me, especially if they're overseas. If it's US travel, it's a little different, but if they're overseas, and my travel partners do the same thing. If they're going to be out of pocket going on a cruise, or maybe they're going to be at Disney for the day and there's just no way, then we make sure that's what our team does. My team specifically, we'll make sure that you have contact with someone that can get a hold of you or can help you, even if it's, even because I can't call for someone else's travel per se, but I can help troubleshoot whatever issue they have or they might be having, or I have access to Cindy or, you know, any of the other women on this chat that I can call and say, oh, there's an emergency or this is going on. How do you think we should handle it? So even, I hope that helps answer your question, but it is definitely making sure that if they can't get a hold of you, they can get a hold of somebody.
Yeah. And also like, so I will give them the phone number for the vendor that like, if I'm booking an all-inclusive and it's through Vacation Express, they're going to have access
Yes.
to Vacation Express. They're going to have that phone number. They're going to have access to Nexus, who is going to be picking them up at the airport to take them to their hotel. They're going to have the phone number of that company in case they can't get a hold of me. They're going to have access to the, you know, I'm going to leave them the hotel's phone number. They're going to have access to all of that because I will leave that number. I usually give them my itinerary with all the numbers.
Yeah, I just I think about um, what are all the possibilities that as an agent you could deal with if you have, obviously you have numerous customers out there taking their trips and vacations and whatever, and you have 4 or 5 of them are having problems. You could already be overwhelmed as an agent with trying to get them those issues resolved. So I see that as being stressful.
Cindy,
I
can I?
honestly, yeah, Vinny, go ahead. I honestly
Hey,
don't, you know, have that many issues with my clients. Not very often, but
yeah,
yes,
and
Vincent, yeah, I would love to.
what I was going to
Yeah.
share is that for the most part, if anybody has an issue, the best place, like you said before, if they're having trouble with an airline and they're at the airport, they're going to have to go up to the counter and figure it out. Same thing with if they're on a cruise ship. I mean, if them calling me, is not really going to do much because I'm going to tell them, okay, go to the, you know, concierge or customer service or whatever it might be. And, you know, I would say most of the time it's for support. Like it's for that sense of security. Like they might message me, hey, our flight's delayed, you know, and I'll be like, okay, let me check on it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, there's no other flights going out. You know, you're just gonna have to wait it out. I'm so sorry that happened, but it's not your fault. And then the other thing is we sell travel insurance. and we add travel protection or travel insurance to these trips. So even when I've had a client, that had a horrible time, I had one client that was delayed 11 hours, it really screwed up their whole vacation. She wasn't angry with me. I mean, there was nothing I could possibly do. It was the airline. But because she had travel insurance, we filed a claim and she got compensated for that. And I actually just booked her and her family a trip this summer again. So even if there is issues, I have recurring clients for the most. Yeah.
I don't
So-
feel the stress. If there are issues, it's just okay, this happens, we take care of it. I don't feel stressed like I did in my old job. Nothing like that.
Can I
at all
add to that
whatsoever.
too, Cindy?
Sure.
So I book a lot of travel. I've only had one issue, and it was resolved quickly with the vendor. But another thing I want to add is you don't have to book all types of travel. You can literally choose what you want to book. Let's say like you have been on a lot of cruises and that's what you are comfortable with. Just book cruises, make that your specialty. And so the chances of something going wrong, are pretty slim, but we have the customer support because our vendors want us to be successful. So they're going to watch out for us as well.
Okay, so it sounds like the percentage of problems coming up for those that you book travel on are very low, it sounds like.
I agree with that.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you for all your help in answering that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes. And you'll learn what vendors you like using also. So if you have an issue with one vendor, you'll be like, oh, I'm never using them again. And you'll learn that fast if there's any specific ones. But usually our company will be like, okay, we don't prefer you guys using this vendor because we've had issues. They will let us know. They're very, they will communicate with us if there's issues with certain vendors.